Hi. Hello. My name is Chris Farah. Welcome to my YouTube. I'm here. I'm here. So sorry that I'm a couple seconds late, 3 minutes late. Uh, why am I hearing myself? I don't want to hear myself. Oh my God, I had a different tab open. Okay, so right away, you see that I have a haircut. That's obviously news number one. I got a haircut. I also got a massage, which is why I have this line on my head. And now my back is hurting me so bad that I'm like with a heating pad back here. So still excited to be here and talk. But if you like see the line and whatever, like know that if you see a little tail, it's literally a heating pad I've stuffed in the back of these like sweatpants. Ah, I love your white dress in the thumbnail. You know what? That was a God, who's that English designer that's not expensive like at Macy's? Todd? No, not forgot his name. I'll look it up for you. You know, it's like one of those not Todd English. Jesus Christ, what is that person's name? He's like English. I'm gonna look it up. Thank you so much. I'll tell you though. Having said that, we are going to do, I have to do it later. Our talk about, of course, 90 Day Fiance, Love After Lockup, and some of the drama happening from the cast members currently. So if you don't know, the streets, not Tommy Hilfiger. God, I got 3 of those dresses. He has different sizes, like size 1 to 4, you know, instead of like after that. Oh God, he's known for his prints. Okay, does that help? So basically, Claire, who is Sophie's mom, released some footage that was like incredibly toxic, and her relationship with her daughter seems to have absolutely disintegrated, as well as Rob doesn't seem to be treating Sophie well either. And on top of that, she was then arrested in Florida for basically harassing her daughter by saying that she was going to kill her. And then Kyle from Love in Paradise has had some time on television before. And because of that, we got to really ask questions 10 years ago that we would like to know now. And we realized that the person, he is not doing the due diligence of like that you would get from like a formal sperm donor. And I mean, you know what it reminds me of? You know what it reminds me of? This is like so sad, but God bless. There are women who will go to unlicensed, like plastic surgeon people, you know, and like you hear this all the time. Like there's someone's like pretending to put filler in you, it's not filler or whatever. People get hurt or whatever because in an effort to get something they really want without having to go through the rigmarole and or extra pricing of like, you know, kind of standard, like tried and true levels of either plastic surgery or IVF for fertility in such a way, or not truly knowing who your sperm donor is just by the fact that maybe you've known them for your whole life, which could work out for you. It's like if you circumvent that in the name of either money and or time and energy spent, you're going to get the possibility of someone like Kyle. Just like if you go and get an unlicensed plastic surgeon or whatever, not nurse, medical, not an unlicensed medical professional trying to like give you plastic surgery or fill you up with whoever knows. It's just like a horrible price to just like risk taking. Having said that, so yeah, I mean, God, you guys, yes. How is Annie attracted to Kyle? I don't get it. She's so normal. You know, yeah, like I literally I ended the Docu Sweeties podcast at being like, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You know, like straight up, like what's happening? I do think that either this is like absurdly fake or she's not as normal as we think. You know, because she's delighted by him in this episode, by his trousers, which are not anything to write home about. Unless you were writing home to be like, this guy keeps wearing clothes that are too tight and inappropriate at all times. But that's, a small potatoes to like how he eats. And I've had to watch him and I keep going out with him to places where he's going to ingest in front of me. Like that would be the note I would write home to my parents. It's like, yeah, it's wild to watch her go through these dates with what looks like the patience of a contestant on Bachelor. You know how the contestants on Bachelor, like when there's a male bachelor and there's female contestants, and I'm not like, this is just, for this way, you know how the guy's basically doing nothing because he's the star of the show or whatever. And every girl's just like, oh, I really want time with him. I hope he sees me. And like every time they see them, they're just like that's almost the energy she's giving me. But like it's like, what's funny is like, he's no bachelor, he is a bachelor, I guess. Technically he's a bachelor in that he isn't with someone, but like, and could you imagine if they actually cast him as the bachelor? Because this like women vying for attention in this hungry, desperate way that happens during the bachelor is the same kind of vibe where you're like, what are you doing, girl? Why? I mean, that much? This one? That much to this one? You know what I'm saying? Like there's the rub. Okay, so this is going to be, I guess, talking all over the thing. So I hope you guys are knowing, but I've obviously been talking about 90 Day Fiance, Love in Paradise. This is Kyle with Annie. And it's like, basically, I talk about every episode. And if you want to get the absolute, like, full recap of all 3 episodes, 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, 90 Day Fiance, Love in Paradise, and Love After Lockup for this week, they're all obviously a free podcast that I do called Docu-Sweeties, where you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts. But our YouTube channel is undergoing a reconstruction. So please join. And we are releasing episodes at least 48 hours after our Patreon members get them. So we'll be able to really expand our Patreon then too, with like extra fun perks. So if that interests you, full visual when it drops, that would be our Patreon. But our YouTube, where you are right now, maybe watching, that's happening in the full episodes of me going with Wah through every morsel exists. But in this situation, of Love in Paradise, I don't really like talking about Sean and Aaliyah that much. And I admit that like Luke and Madeline are interesting, but I mean, and I'm like very happy that they're on the show, but this Kyle Annie situation is wild. Like when he said that he likes to buy his shirts a little tight. I mean, basically the entire streets are like, what is this man doing? And does he submit proper paperwork about like genetic testing that he's had done? Or is he forthcoming with, like certain things? Like, for instance, I think the internet streets have said that him and maybe like an identical or fraternal brother have optical issues. One perhaps being color blindness, and another thing is whatnot. I'm not quite sure. But also STD testing, which was a focal point of the Dr. Phil episode. And basically, he was saying that up until that point, he had not. Now, I'm in a part of my life where I am happy to ask and want to give easily an STD report to anyone that I considered entering into a sexual relationship with, especially if I want to like be super oral or whatever, all that stuff, obviously. So, and everything. So like, God bless. So that to me just seems like obviousness. And then if I was going to think about a possibility of, let's just say, having sex with someone to breed, it would be, I mean, I would, yes. That's wild to me. But there's been like so many people that have just said yes. And then it makes me feel like, I don't know, there's a lot of desperation in this world. And I mean, truly, even going back to like 90 Day Fiance, like I've brought up the concept of profound loneliness. And I think, you know, there might be a situation where people are like filling their profound loneliness with children. So, yay. I would not. Hi. Okay, so but this was a recent Starcasm little article, and it said Kyle Gordy is causing a stir on 90 Day Fiance as a serial natural sperm donor. And while filming the show, he says he has fathered 70 children with 9 more on the way. So yeah, he operates in a DIY fashion. And he appears to scout his participants via social media, where he very blatantly advertises that he's a sperm donor. Even his Facebook name is Kyle Gordy Sperm Donor. Kyle also runs a website called Be Pregnant Now. Wow, that just okay. Where he publishes a few informational articles about fertility and shares his contact information. He was like featured, of course, on certain things, obviously. Okay. Last year, one of the women he naturally inseminated shared her story on YouTube. She met Kyle via a Facebook group he ran that matched prospective women up with donors. The woman calls her experience with Kyle traumatic and says he led her on to believe that he would establish a long-term relationship with her before ditching her after she conceived. The woman had a child already but wanted another one. She truly wanted a long-term relationship but felt her time was running out to have children because she was approaching 40. According to her, she decided that she wanted to know the donor instead of going through a sperm bank. And Kyle sent her pictures of some of the other kids, and he reportedly promised her that he would maintain a connection with her child with him and have them connect with their siblings. That is traumatic. I mean, that is traumatic and really, really sad. And I don't know what to say other than people get caught up, like this yeah, that's like culty, but like CULTEE, or those kind of like love wind twin flames situations. That's what I'm saying. Like when we are lost and profoundly lonely, like people can get at us that through our rational, wise mind, it seems that they wouldn't have like a second chance or even like a first, but it's interesting how certain things can like lay down our defenses. And like this woman, I don't want to shame her because I think that like I can't I mean I'm trying to think. There's times in which we have believed things to not be true about people or entities or organizations or whatever we've either like ensconced ourselves with that maybe we're too grandiose and we had to like take a step back into reality. But my heart hurts for that person. And so is that who Annie is? Like, is Annie just a fucking cool but really lonely and very good at hiding her pain on an island called Malta? Like, but she feels like an island in herself and she is just grasping at straws? You know what we haven't had yet? We also haven't had like Annie's bestie having a conversation with her, meeting him, being because it's like Alex and Adriano, they had a whole scene. The whole episode was about Alex's cousin coming and Adriano having a lot of problematic answers to how they were going to raise a baby someday together. And whether they should move to Australia, which very much seems like his want to do that. And then obviously we know how much he's pushing the threesomes. But then Alex has been hearing this, but she's just like so digmatized by him that she cannot breathe. But at the same time, to watch her have him say things in front of her cousin, it did that thing where where you can have things land in a certain way because you know how it's coming across, and you have your other really good person friend across the way who's staring daggers at you in a way that's like, I can't do this, can I? You know what I'm saying? It's just, and so now I want that moment for Annie, where I want to see Annie have to deal with some other person like in her life that knows her well, not her son. Although that scene might, I'm not quite sure if that scene's going to happen between Kyle and her son. But at least a grown adult who's known her for a long time that can just be like, what? Girl, what? What are you talking about? This one? I mean, that much, like that's what I said. Like, you're this much into that person? What are the guys on, what are Malton men like? Is there none of them? Are they all married? Are they not into foreigners like her? I mean, I'm only asking now, just those are just like those. If you have an answer to me, I would love to know them. Like, I haven't been to Malta. I would love to go. I want to get this like mark off my head first, so I don't look like I have given myself like brain surgery or like tried on a really, really small wig. But I mean, it looks gorgeous, truly. But like, yeah, I don't know enough about it to, know the answers to that. But I mean, I'm just assuming that she has people in her life, like one or two rational people, one or two biddies that like have been around the block, like, and bring someone from Germany if you have to. Like, we know this life. It's people are traveling all the time. Someone from Germany can just be like, "Oh, I was just passing through," and then wanted to go visit her. And at the same time, like she has introduced Kyle, who's like, "Oh, minus 5 points for having another friend." You know what I'm saying? Wild. Okay, so I think he's trolling her. Whew. Yeah, this is his career, just distasteful. Okay, so basically, if we were to jump ship to the 90 Day Fiance HEA world, then we know we're talking about like Sophie and Rob. And what basically went down there was Claire released two videos of Rob yelling at Sophie and threatening her and or saying that he is a good guy because he's not hitting her or whatever the fuck it is. And one conversation happens in a car where she's the passenger, he's the driver. The second conversation happens where she feels like she's cowering in a closet, like, and he's yelling at her, and first of all, feels real. And that was only somewhat interesting because I honestly thought they were like fake for so long. But I mean, why I don't think it's fake is because from the last episode to this moment, we really get to see the villainry. I think it should be a word. Villainry. Would that be great? Anyway, God bless. Probably not. Anyway, because it's like I want the noun that is the idea of a villain. Not villain, but that's the person, but the evilness. You get to see the evilness of Rob and and Claire. And with Rob, a crazy insecurity that happened in this episode. So basically the only thing that's important is that in this episode that we had, they go to like sex therapy or whatever. They go to therapy. And he's like talking over the therapist. Therapist like, fucking take it down a notch, excuse me. And then it's revealed that he like fetishizes quite muscular bodybuilding type women. And his reaction of not wanting that to be shown, which was a very loud, over the top reaction. But you know what's so interesting? It's like To me, that's not a bad fetish. It's not, and I don't mean to slut shame or kink shame anything. I don't want to kink shame anything. I mean, there's just doesn't it seem I'm not going to say all the fetishes, but you know how like I'll be honest, like I've like a foot fetish seems like I feel like at this point 1/3 of every man has a foot fetish. And I'm going to say or person. I don't know about, like women or whatever. I mean, obviously Jasmine, but I can't talk to like, I'm just what I'm talking about my own I guess experience, or maybe it just had beautiful feet. We don't know which one it is, but at the same time, his, there's like more intense ones. There's like I'm into muscular women. Okay, I'm into being a baby in a crib, and I want you to change my diaper. Like now, listen, beautiful fetish if you're into it. It's just that I feel like society wise, one's quite easy to like, oh, yeah. Because I feel like bodies are bodies, and I think maybe for him, it feels like a connotation of him and his like sexuality being, I guess more attractive than masculine is what maybe he jumps on there. But his eyes in such pain and like with basic tears trying to like tell us how much he doesn't like those kind of women was like, oh, okay, let's see. She seems to have sense enough that she realizes how off-putting he is in person, but he's sticking with it. Maybe she's functioning off the idea that she's built in her head. I think you're talking about Annie. And then Veronica, they both seem so fake. Yeah, I agree. So that gets released, and then Sophie puts out a Instagram or a statement, whatever, and it's basically like, my mom and I are not. I'm having some issues with a family member. She doesn't name her mom, but obviously we know who she's talking about. And then Claire is arrested, and we got some snippets of some of the texts she was sending her daughter, which indeed she's wildly inappropriate and abusive in these texts. And it makes me very sad for Sophie. And where's Sophie's dad? Where's Sophie's grandpa? I mean, I'll never let it go, but like, who was supposed to have the money? Who had the money? Which person? I just want to know, like, even if you're not emotionally supporting Hui, just give her some money now because she absolutely needs to just learn. She just needs to be by herself, like in therapy or just like not around Rob and not around her mom. Like, I just want to know if we've ever talked about, we already just kept talking about how much money she came from. And I'm just saying, as a plea to whoever had the money or who has money in her fucking family, if it's Claire's dad, if it's her dad or her dad's parents, Claire's mom, I do not know, some aunt, some rich aunt, I don't know who was the source of the money, but we absolutely need that person to like come on the scene. I mean, to me, even in a British way, even in a London way, I mean, this is on television and this person needs help. Aren't we supposed, I mean, isn't that the thing with old money? Like you're supposed to, or like English money or whatever, you like, or what, aren't you supposed to like want to pretend that things are really great with your family name? Reflects on your fucking flag? I don't even, I'm not quite sure. Money was from Claire's dad, but gone. Oh. Hi, Shay. Thank you. I love my hair too. This is just like Natch text. Yeah. So let me go through these things and I'll talk more about my hair. Ha ha ha. No, I'm just kidding. 90-day fiance, Sophie's mom, Claire, Cheshire, arrest report details. She got a heated feud with her mother. The feud included Claire posting multiple videos of her son-in-law, Rob, being verbally abusive. I said that online back and forth. The mother and the daughter ended on Friday when Claire was arrested in Texas for terroristic threat of a family or household member. Her bond was set at $5,000 and was still in custody as of this writing. According to the arrest report, is that my computer doing that? The location of her arrest was an extended stay America hotel. Claire's citizenship is listed as other, and the report lists homeless for her address. Living in a hotel and being homeless lines up with what Claire said in her videos late last week. The arrest report narrative is blank, so there are no specific details about Claire's charge or the allegation against her. However, there is some information on the incident report which appear to back up claims by acquaintances of Sophie and Rob. According to the incident report, police received a call from Claire's daughter, Sophie is not named, concerned about her mother's welfare. 9:26 a.m. The caller stated she was concerned for her mother, who had attempted suicide before because she's not able to get a hold of her. I arrested Claire for a non-jurisdiction warrant. I transferred it over to the jail where I turned over to custody. The narrative from the incident report matches information and text messages shared by Rob's friend, Tori. You know him. Why is Tori's in the fucking middle of this? Tori spoke with Mary from Kiki and Kibitz and revealed that Claire not only threatened her own life, but Sophie's. Rob and Sophie have their issues, but this has nothing to do with them. He isn't even in the same place as Sophie or her mom. Notice how Claire is treating Sophie because she is afraid of Sophie posting videos, but Claire is the only one posting videos blackmailing her own family. Tori then explained the criminal charge against Claire. The terrorist threats are because Claire has threatened to kill her own daughter and then kill herself. That's why. Oh, fuck. So she had posted before, arguing does not be mental health yet. Big time about screaming, shouting, screaming. I was in a fearful place. I wanted to leave America. I have no money because Sophie hasn't paid me back. So I'm in a real quiet situation. I will not apologize for losing my temper, and shouting is not mental health. That is called anger. I'm just like, yeah. I feel this is so fucking messy. She should have just left her mom in fucking England, but putting her mom on the show was not the move. I mean, it really wasn't. Especially, I mean, maybe she didn't quite understand but her mom is a fucking psychopath. This is narcissism or whatever this is. It's not something you can like do. You can't be in a relationship with someone like this. You have to just cut them out. Because this is a cancer. I mean, that's really sad. Wow. Okay, so okay, so other than that, which is very, very sad, Brett, I'm just gonna like wish Sophie the best, but I really like, I hope that she can just like Miona beauty it or whatever, just make some money for her own like social media accord just to like finance something. But she actually needs to be in a lot of therapy. And I mean, I'm so sorry for her. It's heartbreaking. What are you guys saying? I think Claire was disowned at some point for addiction. If there was money, that makes sense. You should be. I also want to thank you for being open about your mental health in the last docuseries live. It makes it more acceptable to talk about, especially since the world is so fucked. Oh. Right? It is. Is her mom bipolar and having episode? It could be, it's just like it's hard, a lot of drug addicts are self-medicating undiagnosed or diagnosed personality disorders. So that could be a situation. I mean, but I wonder what's going to happen, because if she's not a U.S. citizen, will they just deport her to England? If England has universal health care, I think it's better. I mean, I don't know the situation. I've never lived there, but I know France does, and God bless. Wow. Okay, so let me talk about my hair for a second. Obviously, beep beep beep. When I looked at the Met Gala, I was very much heavily turned on by Gigi Hadid's like haircut. I just loved it so much. I thought it looked like a modern day Grace Kelly. So I went to the internet to see what happened. Is there like a video of it? And then when I watched the video of it, it's her. It's a full haircut demo, beautifully shot video that she did with the stylist, who is Chris McMillan, who owns a salon in LA, and I just go to it because one of my close friends from when I worked at Real Food Daily became one of the most amazing colorists in the city and like really does like a beautiful like LA lived in blonde so well. But she's been like dyeing my hair for so long, and because she's amazing, she'll just cut my hair for me sometimes. So I got other people too, but whatever. So I just keep looking at this like huge massage and dent thing. God bless. So when I go, I tell her the whole story. I show her the thing, and then she just did it for me, and I love it. I love it so much. I didn't think I'd love it. It's the shortest my hair has ever been. I love it so much. It's weird for me that like I can't put all. It's like hard. I can't put all of my hair into into a ponytail. Like there's no way. Like there'll be little things in the back. I don't know, it's just, and it feels so good. So I'm just so excited. This is just like a natural text. It actually looks really cute when I like put some sort of heat element into it. Anyway, let's talk about love during lockup for a second. So it was like a weird episode with like not a lot of people, but this girl and her boo, by the way, this Samantha and I think it's Rick, Samantha and Rick, that was wild. So Samantha, my God, 10 years for her 4th DUI. But, I think that she's like made it shorter or whatever. By God, I mean, mugshot after mugshot of her looking wasted as fuck, just like driving around. That's crazy. Oh. She seems to be underplaying her alcohol problem a bit. Well, she said she's always struggled with alcohol. It's been a problem off and on. Well, I mean, when it's a problem, it seems to be very on. But we all know situations where that's very intense. Though it seems to be the grip of like a crazy addiction. So, I mean, that's also a lot of therapy work. But this was the best, craziest scene, which is this part of the world, and I just like all of them are so old, but never left where they were from. And they all just hang out together and fuck each other over the years and are all drunks. All of them are wasted all of the time, not just tipsy, gone, like gone. I mean, it's funny because like this, people say white girl drunk and white boy drunk, and they are like 50s. I mean, just wildly drunk. This scene where these two girls just fawn over Rick for being the hottest ever and how much they want to fuck him and like they love him, and he's just like, women can't really deal with it, and just like kind of always just the only person he's excited to talk about is that one muscle building guy. I mean, look at you, Rob. Just kidding, but God bless. You know what I'm saying? Like every woman, including Sam's on the phone, like throwing themselves at him. He's like, yeah, Sam, I'll tell him that. Like, no, I mean, I just haven't told them we're like married or like whatever, getting engaged. I just, just break the ice, and so it also seems really, really set up and fake, where I'm like, is this a high school reunion or is this just like some party in the backyard of like that muscle building guy who like hosts lots of things, and you're all gonna like pair off into different rooms of this house the minute the cameras leave, or maybe one camera will stay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what a world. Because all of them could get DUIs if they're driving home. Did all of those people Uber there? Is there a party bus and stopping off like a school bus at the end and dropping them all home? I mean, that's what this town needs, honey. Because maybe if these people are used to being on a bus and have been on a bus with each other for a long time, they should just like get a subtle shuttle service, honey, and just drop them all off at their homes at the end of the night from all the local bars. There can't be that many bars there. It's probably just like 4. You pick up all the people from those 4 bars. You're all happy in the car. Just drop everyone off. I mean, at the end, it's like everyone that uses it just gets like a monthly or weekly check, bill, invoice, if you will. It makes me look younger. I know. Me? Younger? You don't say. Anyway, what do you guys think? I want to hear from you. I hope that you guys are having like a good week so far, that you had good weekends. Oops. I've had a really good week, really good weekend, except for this back thing, but I think I'm just gonna like chill for a second. I do need to go to Target, but I mean, I'm just like putting it off as much as possible. Hi, I'm late. Did you cut your hair? Yes. I should have just like named this like chit chat. I cut my hair, by the way, and then the rest of the things. Chit chat with new hair. Should I edit it? Maybe I will. Chit chat with new hair. Yeah, I really like this bob. I just like made it blonder. Um, yeah, like it's when it has like natural texture, it feels like it looks good on the side. But when it's blow dried straight, middle part looks so good. Tuck behind looks so good. Side part looks good. So I'm really feeling it. And so I think it's like, I mean, I hate to say this because it feels vain. It has absolutely impacted my mental health. Shay. It has though. In a good way. It has made me feel much better. And I think that every time I got my hair done, because I would do the same thing over and over again, it's not that I wouldn't feel, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it's like a little brighter, a little fresher. I've actually just never had like a full switch where I feel like night and day, though. It's crazy. Like, it's a crazy thing. So, but yeah, if you ever need a good colorist, I highly recommend Casey Carhart, and she's at Chris McMillan Salon. Chris McMillan himself did Gigi Hadid's haircut. He didn't do mine, but I'm sure he'd approve. But yeah, I like love going to Casey, and she has these two amazing assistants, Vanessa and Chelsea. Literally, Vanessa, when I sat down in the chair, she was like, oh, Miss Chris. And I was like, Faith Hill? You just want to improv a Faith Hill song, change the lyrics for me? I mean, this is my happy place, so I fully experience that. But yeah, like even in life, when I feel myself get down, it's like so many things you can do. And I've said this before, but there is something about going over like head to toe, like I'm gonna say hygiene or beauty, but it's like, it's like making sure everything feels really fresh, like I got a manicure, pedicure, I got a massage, I shaving my legs, like fresh hair. Um, you know, just whatever I can do to feel better. But like honestly, I think walking outdoors, getting sun is always like a whole thing. Seeing friends, that's a whole thing. Those things always make me feel better. What also makes me feel better, but I refuse to believe it in moment in time, is working out. But it's like when I'm depressed and I get tired, obviously the last thing I want to do is work out and get sweaty and have to shower. But at the same time, that's why it's important everything's important. It's why it's like, I think it's important to do the rituals that you do to ground yourself for such a way. So like things like obviously if you get up, like doing your hair or putting makeup on will make you feel better in the day. And I know that like specifically on Mondays, I like to work out because it makes me feel like I start my week like in a place of movement. When I say workout, it could easily be a long walk too. I like toggle between spinning and like long walks or slow hikes. And if I can fit in like a hot yoga, I'm usually really happy about it. But that helps me putting makeup, like, and by makeup, I mean just like a little like tinted serum and some sort of like jelly kind of like pink tint for my cheek. Maybe use the same one or like a tinted lip balm. And then if I want to do a little with my eyebrows, I will. Obviously, I've gotten like fake eyelash extensions now as part of my thing. I'm going to let them fall off and then take a break. But like, that's a crazy thing that's helped me also, just like on the go. That helps me. And then my like nighttime, making my bed and my nighttime reset of just like going over, bathroom, kitchen, living room, bedroom, putting everything away I can do, make sure everything is like clean for the night, and then any sort of like little extra prep things I can do for myself always makes me feel like I took care of myself. And the feeling like I took care of myself helps my depression because I don't feel so alone, which I guess is my way of like dealing with my own profound loneliness. It's just being there for myself, being there for my future self by doing something in the present, which is like, isn't that weird? Kind of. Anyway, you are not alone. I am present self here for you, for future self. But whatever works for you. I don't know. I'm still figuring shit out. I'm still trying to like help myself and then like also if like know that like things happen at their own pace, I guess. Getting nails makes you feel better though, too. Yeah, absolutely. Did we cover the fact that Clara wants to slice Sophie's throat? We did. We did. And that yeah, we need her to just be deported back. We need her to go and Sophie can stay. But Rob has to go on his way because Rob isn't a part of it either. I mean, hang out with Tori and whoever, Killer Sally, whatever kind of woman you want. And we need Sophie to just be like, I mean, I need someone to give her some like help or money, or she just like, she should do like a GoFundMe, or maybe I just want her to like people to be, maybe she just like can have some business going. Again, I said on her Instagram that can like, give her a sustainable income. Anyway, so having said all that, I'm going to breathe with you all and then go on my way, which means I'm just going to like lay down and do my warm compress on my back right now, just because I'm having some back issues and tomorrow I have like a full long day. But I've enjoyed spending time with you all right now. If you have any questions or whatnot, of course, please like this video now. And when it goes up and is there, please comment and I'll comment back. Any other things I might have forgotten or how you feel about the random people we talked about. When I get home with my dad, I can finish watching Shogun and then we have to like finish watching Fallout. And then everyone keeps talking about Ripley. And so I want to watch that as well. And then I think like the Game of Thrones thing is back. Honey, I'm not quite sure. It's a bunch of things, but let's breathe. Thank you for being with me here. It was fun also being there last week with my dad. We did have fun going and having chicken piccata at A's, though. Always yummy. All right, my loves. I will talk to you later. I watched the first episode of Ripley, but I have to get back to it. Did you see the Piers Morgan interview with the real life Martha from Baby Reindeer? I saw clips of it. He's just so horrible, and she seems so bananas, that I just like, I want to watch it. I just feel like I was like, God, this is going to be like, the Baby Reindeer is a real life inspired, scripted, beautiful show. That's one thing. And I don't know if I'm just going to watch absolutely unhinged, real baddie craziness now, because it's like, I wouldn't want to watch Claire's interview of Sophie and Claire on Piers Morgan, where you're just like, this person's a horrible, deranged person that's probably in the grips of like hardcore mental health issues that I shouldn't say is horrible, but her behavior against others certainly isn't great. And how do I deal with this in real time? I don't know. It even gives me anxiety to talk about. So, but maybe I will. Okay. Obviously all the episodes again are on DocuSweeties. Please go and, hang out. Please subscribe there. And Other than that, you can, of course, follow me on Instagram. I'm not really doing a lot of posts right now, but I am doing stories. So that's Chris L. Farah. And of course, Vanity Farah on Facebook, where I post the link before I go live the night before. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye, loves.